Hi, class. Tonight we want to talk about ratio and proportions. Now, what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two quantities by division. We have to use the same units, feet, inches, yards. A ratio can be written in one of three ways: word form, A to B; fraction form, A over B; colon form, A colon B. We need to reduce the ratio, but we have to keep two numbers because we are comparing, and you have to have two quantities. A ratio is read A to B. Now, look at this example. This looks just like your fraction 4/5. But when we talk about ratios, we have to say 4 to 5. This is how we would read this: 4 to 5. This means that for every 4 of something that you have 5 of something else. The ratio of 7 feet to 11 inches. Now, we can't compare feet to inches, so we have to change everything to the same unit. And typically, we change it to the smaller unit, okay? So we would change everything to inches. So 7 feet would be 84 inches. So this is 84 to 11, or we could write it as a fraction. Now, a proportion. A proportion says that two ratios are equal. That means you have 4 terms. A proportion is written A is to B as C is to D. Okay? A is to B as C is to D. Now, how do we solve a proportion? Okay? We multiply the extremes, and the extremes are first and fourth terms on the end, and the means are in the middle. We multiply them and then we solve. So A times D equals B times C. Okay, that's how we would solve a proportion. All right. So when we work out percent problems, these are what we call numerical percent problems. We set it up as a proportion. This is the first method. Okay. 27 is 45% of what number? So we're going to use proportions. Now, when you use proportions, you take the percent, remove the percent symbol, and put it over 100. Remember, when we remove the percent symbol, to compensate, we put it over 100. The part will go over the whole. Now, which one is the part? The part is the one with is, and the whole will be after the number, after the word of. Okay, you always get in a percent problem, there are 3 numbers: the part, the whole, and the percent. The percent will have the percent symbol, or we will have what percent. Okay, the part would be close to the word is. The part is on the left side of is in numerical problems. In numerical problems, the part is going to be on the left side of is. The whole in numerical problems will be after the word of. Okay. So with word problems, we have to recognize that the part is what you get after taking the percent of the whole, but we'll get to that. Percent of whole equals the part. Okay. All right, so let's come back to this problem. 27 is 45% of what number? All right, so let's work this out. I take my percent, I put it over 100, equals. The part is 27 because it's to the left of is, and the whole is after of. Of what number? I don't know, so I put me a letter, okay? Then I use the fact that the product of the extremes, these are the extremes, 45 times x, is equal to the product of the means, 2,700. So when I do that, I get an equation. And to solve this equation, I divide by 45. So x equals, let's see, 45 into 2,700. So 45 would go into 2,700 what? 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Right, my 0, carry my 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. 45 into that would be 0. Okay, so we get 60. Okay, 27 is 45% of 60. Okay, now there is a second way that we can solve this, and some of you might like this. This is the equation method. How do we do the equation method? Okay, this is read and write. We say 27. The word is means equal. 45%, change it to a decimal, move the decimal 2 places to the right. Means time what number? So 27 equals 0.45x. To solve this equation, I'm going to change it and put it on the left. And now I'm going to divide by 0.45. X equals, let's see what that gives us. 0.45 into 27. Put my decimal. Now I move this 2 places, 1, 2. I have to move this 2 places, 1, 2. Put my decimal here. Voila, we're getting the same thing that we got a few minutes ago. So 45 will go into 270. We said 6 times 5 is 30. Right, my 0, carry my 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. Bring down the 0, and then we get 60. Okay, so let's check it. 27 is 45% of 60. Okay, so 45% of 60. Let's multiply that out. So we change this to a decimal. Of means times. So we have 0.45 and 60. We get 27. Okay, let's continue. What is 55% of 80? Okay, what is 55% of 80? Let's use proportions. Now, this is to the left of is, I have what, so I don't know. So that's the, I mean, I do not know. That's the part. And the whole is 80. The percent is 55. So I do the extremes. 55 times 80 is 0, 0, 44. Let me double check. All right, equals 100x divided by 100. 44 equals x. Okay. All right, let's do this, the equation method. Okay. All right, what x is equal 55% as a decimal of is times 80. Wow, this is easy. 0.55 times 80. 2 decimal places, 1, 2, and I get 44. Okay, let's continue. 68 is 85% of what number? All right, the percent is 85. The part is 68, and the whole, I don't know. So I come along here. 85x equals 6,800. Let's divide by 85. X equals 85 into 6,800. Okay. All right, so 85, I'll go into 6,800. Let's see, 8 times 5 is 40. 0, 4, 64, and 4 is 68. So we get 80. All right, let's use the equation method. 68 is equal 85% as a decimal times what number? 68 equals 0.85x. Divide by 0.85. X equals 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so we put 8 here and 0. So we get 80. All right, what is 65% of 40? The percent is 65. The part we don't know, and the whole is 40. Okay, so 65 times 40 is 006 equals 100x. Divide by 100. 26 equals x. Let's do it using the equation method. What is 65% of 40 what? X is equal 65% as a decimal of its times and 40. And we get 26. All right, let's take a look at this one. 18 is what percent of 72? Okay. Now it says what percent, so we don't know. The part is 18 and the whole is 72. So we say x times 72 is 72x. 100 times 18 is 1800. All right, so we divide 72 into 1800. Let's see what we get. Okay, so 72 will go into 182 times 2 times 72 is 144. Subtract 6, 3, and 0. 72 into 360 would be 5. And that's 36. So we get 25%. Okay. All right, let's do this the equation way. So the equation way says 18 is equal. Now here we want to be careful. X percent of 72. Okay. Now, when you don't know the percent, I want you to put a 1 in front of that X. Now, why do I want you to put a 1 in front of the X? Because see, we need to change this to a decimal. Okay. Now, to change this to a decimal, remember to change a number to a decimal, we move it 2 places to the left. So here's my number right here, 1, 1, 2. 18 equals 0.01x times 72. 0.01, okay? And then times 72, and then I put the x there, okay? 0.01 times 72. Let's see what that is. 72 and 0.01. That's 0.72. So 0.72x, okay? Now, we want to find x, so we divide by 72. So 0.72 into 18. Move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Bring it up. 0, 0. All right, so 72 are going to 182 times. 2 times 72, 144. 630, 72 and 365. So you get 25%. But now this is tricky. So what percent, X percent, and you need to put a 1 in front of your X so that you can move the decimal point. And then you're going to say 0.01 times 72, which gives you 0.72X. Okay. So I hope this helps working numerical percent problems. Okay. So I'll talk to you later.